My name is Levy, and I'm coming to you from Portland, Oregon, where I live with my husband and my 6 children, thank God. I serve as the Rebbitzin of Congregation Ahavat Achim here, and my passion always has been building community. Wherever I've lived, in beautiful places all around the world, from Canada to Israel to Denver, Colorado, and now Portland, my passion has always been bringing people together and building community. Well, now the world is smaller than it's ever been. It's so easy to connect, and we are connecting with Jewish women from around the world. And part of our mission at our organization, Inspired Jewish Women, through our trips and retreats and content and virtual things, there's so much going on. We are now bringing to you a weekly podcast where we can highlight different women in the Jewish world. So sit back and relax and get ready to be inspired by some wonderful, powerful, insightful women. Each one has a light that is so beautiful and so radiant. I'm excited to share them with you all. Have a great day.
Hello. Welcome everyone for another installment of our weekly podcast. This week we have such a fabulous guest, Miri or Miriam. What should I call you?
Miri is fine.
Miri's good. Okay, Grunhaus, all the way from coming to us from Miami, but originally from Brazil. By the way, I knew you had some cool exotic backgrounds. Even before I met you, I'm like, where is she from? She's a little cool accent, and it's so nice to have you here with me. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
So tell us a little bit about your background, where you're coming from, and I love that we're actually matching today.
Yes.
That was not planned, but we'll talk about it soon.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your background, how you got to the States.
Okay, so I went to high school to Israel. I was in a yeshiva for girls. And I went back to Brazil because I thought I wanted to be an attorney, and I worked with my father who had a law firm and decided that was not for me. And I wanted to become a marketer. So I came to the US because in the US I could go to Stern and to be in a Jewish environment for girls. And I didn't want to go to just regular college in Brazil. So I came to the US and I worked together with FIT. I did a shape major.
It's Fashion Institute, right? So
but my major was marketing and advertising. I did not take any courses in fashion. And I started right after my career in graphic design and marketing. And I did that for 25 years. I absolutely loved it. I fell into the area of ethics and compliance, probably because of my love to law and ethics and integrity. And I worked for pharmaceutical companies creating their compliance programs. And wow. It was a phenomenal 25 years.
That's amazing. What a path. And now you kind of took a detour, or maybe that has brought you to this moment.
My path took a detour. I believe that every experience we have in life brings us to where we are today. It's a culmination of everything together. But I went through some hard times, and I felt that I needed to be working harder, because I took work as a drug, and I wanted to be so busy that I would not be thinking about my pain. And I said, it's just the marketing and the design is too easy for me. I'm going to start a new company because I am an entrepreneur at heart, and I like building things out of nothing. So I decided to start a fashion brand, and wow. I did, and I was very busy. So I accomplished that goal.
Wow. Well, I always say, unfortunately, very often we choose a drug of choice, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's chocolate. In the beginning of
I did that too.
That was my drug of choice. Sometimes it's I don't know, working out at the gym. Everyone has their own way of escaping their pain, but it was amazing that you could take your pain and channel it in a way that not only helps you have a healthy life, but helps so many others.
Well, so that took a little bit of there was a journey to get to that, because in the beginning, I just wanted to be busy, and I started the brand. The brand had no specific mission regarding healing. Wow. But after about a year and a half, I said, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what I'm doing with ethics and compliance. I felt that I was doing something amazing. And I didn't feel the same in the beginning when I had, started my fashion brand.
Wow.
And that's when I did a lot of introspection and to try to figure out what's my why, like what is my ultimate goal here. And I realized that what I loved about the fashion business was the connection with the women, and it was helping them. So my fabric is very special, it's very soft. And so a lot of people who had fibromyalgia or they had gone through radiation, they were telling me that this is the only fabric that didn't, hurt their skin. And that was when I said, wow, this is what I really want to do. I want to help the women who wear my clothing, but I didn't know if I wanted to just like target the people that had skin issues, pains and all kinds of different things, or if I wanted something else. And then I realized through that introspection that I really wanted to connect with women that had gone through adversity but wanted to become joyful, because that was the trajectory that I was going in, and I wanted to connect with them. And then I got a video. That's how, I don't know, do you want me to continue?
Yeah, well, hold on one sec. I just want to tell you why I feel so connected and so excited about your line. I mean, first of all, I have never had such incredibly soft, stylish, everything. I mean, I'll just show you. If you could see this dress, it's hard to see on the screen, but this is your basic kintsugi design, right? Is this... Yeah. Right? It's you see the material, you see the foil, the gold. There's different ways of wearing it. You could wear it like this. You could tie it behind. You could, I don't usually wear it like this, but some people wear it as pockets, just kind of like a loose fitted, comfortable dress. I mean, I've worn this on Shabbat. I've worn it to occasions. I mean, you could really dress it up. So first of all, thank you. My wardrobe thanks you. And it brings me a lot of joy. It really, really does.
Good.
But what I love about it is that there's meaning behind it. And I want you to share that story, the whole kintsugi story, for those that don't know it. But there's something very powerful about not only living your values, but wearing your values, right? And I really believe that getting dressed is a holy thing. I truly believe, when I get out of bed and I say Moza Ani and I start preparing for my day, I am excited to open my closet and how am I going to represent myself in the world today? It's always exciting. And the reason I really feel connected to you is because my path, going back to when I was a young girl, was definitely down the path of fashion. When I was 11 years old, my mother and father, they invested a tremendous amount into me. I didn't do very well in school. I actually failed 4th grade. I was having such a hard time academically. And my parents, thank God, they had the vision, the foresight. They saw I was a talented girl. My hands, they always said, your hands are made of gold. Everything you touch turns to gold. And really, I was good with my hands, but they needed to give me a skill. So they actually signed me up for lessons with a designer. And at 11 years old, I was sewing my own dresses. When I was for my bat mitzvah, I made my own bat mitzvah dress. It was velvet and it had roses made by hand. And then I started selling dresses for $40 a dress to my classmates. And this was my path. This pulled me through a very turbulent teenage hood because there were some serious ups and downs I think every teenager has, it's not easy. And this was something that was like a lifeline to me. So the path that I was going on was this fashion and entrepreneurship and all of that. And I was applying to Fashion Institute in New York when I was, 19, 20 years old. That was my route. I was going to go to Stern College and Fashion Institute, just like you did. And then, God had other plans. I married in Israel. I stayed in Israel for the next decade. I got a degree in psychology instead, and life carried on. But it's interesting. I just feel that when you have a talent or a yearning, a desire, something is inside of you, it has to come out in some ways. So for me, the The one time a year that I have time to really crack out my sewing machine and like go to the fabric store and go all out is Purim. I channel all that energy into the Jewish holiday of Purim or Passover. Sometimes I'll make, pillowcases for everyone at the table. Like I'll just bring out my creativity and my love for sewing, for fabrics, for material during those specific times of year that it's like I could channel it into something that's productive to be a Jewish woman and to use it in that way. But I feel like every single day getting dressed it's a holy act because we are representing God. So that's why I like, in a way, I'm like, tell me more about your fashion. But it's interesting, when we were talking a few days ago, Miri, you said that it's really not fashion that's your thing. It's more the connecting to women through this line of work. And that also really talks to me. So tell me a little bit more about your story, how you got into this line, the whole kintsugi. When did you have that aha moment? When did you make that shift?
Okay, so first of all, I'll answer your first question about fashion. I am not at all a fashionista. I don't know how to sew. And for me, it was really, I saw clothing from a marketing point of view. When you're wearing, this is a billboard, right? Our clothing is our billboard. It says something, how we dress. It's saying who we are, our style, everything that you wear. If you wear flowy, bohemian, flowery dresses, it gives a message of who you are, right? If you wear t-shirts with messages, or if you wear jeans overalls, it gives a message of the type of person that you are. So we are walking billboards. And I wanted this opportunity to use this walking billboard for something good, for a bigger reason.
Wow.
And so, yes, so I was in the depths of my despair when I always say Hashem sent me a WhatsApp. It was a friend of mine, but I have no doubt that it was Hashem sending me this
God
WhatsApp.
has many, many messengers.
Yes, 100%, because it was so nothing to do with that person, no connection. It was so out of the blue. But he sent me a short video, of, it was a Thai gentleman who spoke about kintsugi, the Japanese art. And the Japanese art of kintsugi is a philosophy, right? Kintsugi is mending of pottery, and they highlight the breaks with gold or silver. But as a philosophy is to teach people that we can all fix, we can all mend, and after we fix, we're more valuable, we're stronger, we're more unique. A kintsugi piece, if it falls, it will not break where it has been mended, where it has been put together. If it's gonna break in a different place, that could happen, but not where it was already fixed, because it's such a strong way of mending. And in a way, it's the same with us. If we go through a hardship, but we do the work and we fix in those areas, we become stronger in those areas, and we may break in, we get tested in something else. We grow through growth in something that hasn't been properly fixed. But when we work on something, we become stronger. So when I saw this video, it was exactly at that time of my life that I was thinking, what am I doing here? I want a bigger purpose. What am I going to do with my brand? And then I had a big aha moment, and I said, my brand is going to be all about kintsugi. It's not going to be just about the clothing anymore. It's going to be about the connection with the women. It's going to be about the message. And I wrote down, what do I want to accomplish there? So there were two things. One is to make the women remember that they can fix. Remember that there is always gold, that there is always a way to put it together, that they don't have to be ashamed of what happened to them, that the whole purpose of kintsugi is to highlight where it broke, not to hide it. They don't try to make it so it didn't look like it broke. The opposite, they bring your eyes to where it broke, right?
Right.
Well, that's the beauty. So I wanted to give this very strong message to women. And then I also was like in this dream world of like, can you imagine if this becomes big, and then when other people see somebody wearing a kintsugi piece, they're going to say, wow, I have to be thoughtful. I have to be thoughtful. I don't know what they went through, This is a person that has wisdom. I want to learn from this person. I wanted to create like a change in the way people react to each other. So those were the two things that I wrote down as what
sisterhood. You know, it's like this silence. You know, handshake. Like, you know, I get you.
Exactly. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud for what you did, and I'm empathetic, and I'm there with you. So I started at that point interviewing women, because there are people that that went through nightmares.
Who hasn't, right?
Right, but there are people that that went through nightmares, and they're joyful people.
Right.
They're truly happy people. And you say to yourself, how can they be happy after going through what they went through, right? There's people that you meet that if you know their stories, you say, how is this person functioning? And then there's people that when, they go through adversity, it really breaks them and they can't get out of it. So I became very curious as to what's the difference between those two people. And I needed to study the women who became joyful and find out what did they do to get to the point that they are today.
Right. And how do they build resilience in their life, right? I mean, it's a muscle, right?
100%.
You can build it.
100%.
You know, Miri, I just want to stick in here. I know that your brand and this whole idea is it's for the whole world. It's not for women. It's not for men. I mean, I know that the clothing is for women, but the whole idea of fixing and getting out of your pain and taking responsibility for your life and choosing joy. I mean, this is just for all humanity. But it's such a Jewish concept, right? It really, I can't remember where it's written. Maybe in Mishlei, in the book of Proverbs, it says, Kol zman shahaner dolek efshar litaken. As long as the candle is still lit, you could fix.
Yes.
And it's really our whole life, hopefully until 120 years old, we're going to go through ups and downs. But as long as the neshama, the soul, is still inside our body, we could fix, we could work, we could heal.
Yes. And I want to say something about that, okay? Because a lot of people say, I'm waiting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The light I'm very against this concept. Because to me, the end of the tunnel is the end of your life.
Yeah.
There's a different type of light there, but you cannot wait for the end of the tunnel, because life is the tunnel. Life is the tunnel, right? We're going through life. Life is the tunnel. The end of the tunnel is you're finished, you're accomplished what you were supposed to be here. It's what you do in the tunnel. And what people forget is that they are the light. So they're always looking for an external light, but they're the light. And they just need to use their strengths. They need to use their talents, their uniqueness, their wisdom, and appreciate the wisdom that they have. Right. And to give it to others. I always say the gold, at the end of the day, what we're looking for, when you take the metaphor of kintsugi for life, we're looking for what is the gold. Because the gold, at the end of the day, is what makes the kintsugi piece so unique and expensive and valuable, right? And beautiful to display. So we're looking for the gold. And there's a path to find the gold. And then you become the light, because once you bring the gold into your life, you become this shining, golden, jewel.
Wow. I love that. I just want to share with you, part of what I do, I lead trips, and one of my signature trip is this Poland-Israel journey. And it's a very hard trip. And the first couple times we did it, it was dark. I mean, we're in Auschwitz, we're in Majdanek, we're in these places that, you can't even, there's no words. And after doing this trip a few times, I decided there has to be a better way of doing it, that we come out not broken, but feeling like inspired to take more action in our life, to really feel more responsibility for the Jewish people for the future. And the hashtag that we did on that trip was find the light. Find the light, see the light, you are the light. And that was my goal, to really let the women know that, yes, we've been through so much, but we're the light. Look at us. We're standing strong. When we walk through the concentration camps with our Israeli flags wrapped around our shoulders, singing Am Yisrael Chai, it's so beautiful to know your light. to
Mhm.
see it and then to reflect it in the world. It's very powerful. Wow. It's amazing. So there's so much here. I mean, I love your commitment to the women that you work with. I love the stories, the blog, the sharing that's come out. I mean, I've been a follower for a long time, and I'm blown away. I read every email that you write. I mean, I feel like it's coming from a deep place inside you. It's your own healing that you're bringing to the table, and that's what's helping others to heal.
Yeah. And the stories, when you read the stories of the women, you will see that they all took exactly what broke them to be helpful to others. You know, and that is the goal. Like, that's the biggest part of the goal.
You said something really beautiful. I want to like put it on my fridge. You said, take your mess into your message.
Yeah, it's 100%. Look, I completely changed what I was doing. I never thought that I would be doing this. I'm an introvert. When you think about the type of person that I am, I like to be home and alone. I love humanity, but I don't necessarily love people. You know, like, I love people from a distance, but I like being in my thoughts, in my reading, in my work. And now my work is people all the time, is talking to people, is relating to people. So we see ourselves a certain way, but not necessarily. It's, you know, God, you know, brings you to a path that it's not what you expect, and suddenly you realize that you have a lot to give, and that's exciting. And I encourage women that are having a hard time healing from their adversity to read some of these stories, just because you will see people that really went through mind-blowing tragedies, and to see that it is possible to recover. I think that it's the beginning of the process, because I've spoken to so many people that they said, that's it for me. There's no way for me to recover from this. I'm so traumatized. I have this, that, and the other. And I totally understand. But some of these women have all of that, and they succeeded, and they all put in place the same things. And this is something that was very important that came out of my research, was that it didn't matter their ethnicity, their age, their looks, nothing, you know, Jewish, non-Jewish, you know, tall, short, thin, fat, beautiful, less beautiful, what society calls beautiful, whatever, it didn't matter. The trajectory was exactly the same. The steps that they did were exactly the same to find healing. And that is huge. Because that is, like, you know how we say, oh, you become a mother, but you don't get a book on teaching you how to be. You know, you have to figure out as you go. Life, there is no plan for living. But there is a plan on what you can do and implement in your life to be more joyful. Wow. And the concept's very interesting. The concepts are simple, and they're extremely hard to implement consistently.
Yeah, sure. This is real work.
It's real work.
Yeah. You know, when someone shares their story or a part of their story, and if it comes from the heart, it can enter a heart.
Yes.
In my work with women over the last decade, I've seen that when someone really shares wholeheartedly, it's very, very often someone else will see a part of their story in that story. You know, the details are different for everyone, but there's something that's sparked. There's a lot there that unites us, that is very similar, even though the details are different. And in my work, we also believe in unity without uniformity. We don't all need to be the same. We don't need to serve the same. We need to be different, right? Even in Judaism, we say shivim panim laTorah. There's 70 facets to the Torah. It's different for everyone. Not everyone's journey should look the same. It should be different and diverse. And we really, really respect that. So I love this work. I love the messages. And now tell us how you're shifting, because you did tell me that once, you know, you had this business called Mikah, which was your clothing business, and that wasn't enough. So you changed it to your kintsugi line, right? Which is still evolving. I mean, I have one of your new pieces from your new line, which is very, very different.
The mosaic.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I could show it in a second. But you told me that once you started putting the meaning into the line, it took off. Like, it went within a year, you said it quadrupled You know,
Yes.
just exploded because people really buy in to something that has meaning to it, attached to it.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
and I also want to know, so tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us what's next, because I know you have some big, exciting news coming up.
yes. Okay, so first of all, I just want to tell you, the name of the company is Mikah. And Mikah stands for Mikah Moch Hashem. And the reason that I had to name that.
Translate that.
Who is like God?
Okay.
Because
Mikah Mocha.
Hashem, Elohim, Mikah Moch Elohim.
Who's like God? Beautiful.
Right. And the reason was because I really felt, because I hadn't gone to design school. And I really felt that I was just a messenger. When I was doing graphics and marketing, in many ways, I felt like as the creator of the pieces that I was doing. And maybe that wasn't right. Hashem is the creator. We're messengers. We come here to bring out things and ideas that God puts in our heads, that we need to become the ones to say it. But those concepts exist. They don't come from us. So I felt that it was very important for me to name it like that, because I really felt being the channel, and not being the creator. So that was one. So yes, So
are you not the designer?
I am the designer, but I feel that God sends it through me,
The messages. I know that your inspiration was this video, the kintsugi video.
Yes.
But what about this, this bow, what's it called? Bohu? Is that what it's called?
Boa dress. So the concept of having those extra fabrics exists. It's an old style, but I wanted to be
very like bohemian, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But in a way, you're taking the bohemian, and I don't feel like I'm dressing bohemian when I wear this. I feel like I'm chic, right?
Right. So I took the concept that existed, and I think I may have done about 45 samples. And the reason was because I wanted to get the measurements so it could be tied, so it could be worn as a shirt, so it could be worn in about 10 different ways. I can send the video for your.
I have the tag.
You have the tag. So there is a QR code that has a video. So I wanted that to work. So I had to engineer it. I had to re-engineer a concept that already existed. Yeah, I'm the designer. There's nobody else.
I love when we were talking, you're like, I do everything. I'm a one-woman show. I do the sales. I do the packaging. I take out the garbage. I love your humility also, it's...
It's okay. It's all good. So your question was, how did that happen, right? So that became the kintsugi, and then I started with the blog, and then I felt like I needed to do more. So it was in the plan that within 2 to 3 years, we would put out a course, a healing course, because I really felt that the clothing line was inspirational, but I didn't think that the clothing line was empowering with tools, right? I wanted people to know that they can heal, but it was half a message, Okay, you can heal, but how am I going to find the way to heal? Well, then I'm going to teach one way that I see that is an amazing structured way to heal, that it's based on the kintsugi art, because when I interviewed the women, I wrote down the lessons that I learned from all of them. And then I split them into categories. And I realized that it's the same process of fixing a kintsugi dish. So I divided the process of healing in the same method of creating real kintsugi. But it's philosophical, right? It's related, but it's not art. Right. The course, I wanted to create something that was very visual, because I felt that a lot of people are visual learners. And to me, personally, my aha moment was to be able to see that video, because I used to describe myself as a broken vase. And the reason was because I saw myself as a container. I kept the family together, and I was responsible for the water, which was to sustain the family. So I was supposed to keep everybody together, happy, fed, beautiful, blooming. And when my heart broke, I felt that my vase broke, And now I couldn't be the one thing that I was supposed to be in this world, which was a mother, a wife, a spouse, like a family person. When I saw that video, I said, oh, I connected my feeling of brokenness to fixing, right? I needed that visual to give me that message. People know that they can fix, but I never saw that visual. What is my vase? If I'm gonna put glue on my vase, it's not gonna hold the water. It's going to drip water out. It's not going to be a strong vase. And that visual helped me. So I made conscious decision that the course is going to be visual, there's going to be hands-on, there's going to be some art involved, there's going to be some worksheet. It's a lot of work, but I believe that going through that, if it's not going to make you joyful, it's going to get you very close to it. But also, joy is not something that is constant. It's constant work. It's a constant decision that you need to make. Do I want to be right, or do I want to be happy? Do I want to be satisfied, or do I want to be extremely fulfilled? Everything about life, it's a choice and a decision, and it's constant work. Once you become joyful, life doesn't end. You're going to stumble through another problem. But then you're going to have the tools. And I felt that it was incomplete to have a clothing line, that the goal was to help women. If I was only in theory helping them
so far, and then you didn't want to just give them a little inspiration and let it just fizzle out. You wanted to go deeper.
Exactly.
I just want to say thank you, on behalf of all women out there. As you were speaking about this broken vase, I just feel like it must be that every woman has felt like that broken vase at some point in their life, whether it's mothering. For the first time now, I have almost 4 teenagers and pre-teenagers living in this house, and we've been quarantined for a couple months, and I have cried so many times. There are times that I literally go to my room, close the door, go put the pillow on my head and just cry into it, because I feel like that broken vase. What am I doing wrong? It seems like the water is leaking out everywhere. It seems like nothing I could do could really hold things together. So it's, as you're talking about how you saw yourself, and I'm also a very visual person, it really, really touched my heart, because I could relate, and I assume that every single woman could relate in many different areas in their life.
And I can tell you that a lot of that feeling that we have is because of of expectation. We have a vision of what our life should be. We have a vision of what our homes need to be like, our families need to be like, our relationships need to look like. And when the reality is different than that vision, that's when we feel broken, because it's like, but I did everything to accomplish that goal. I did this, I did that. I baked cookies for my kids, and I woke up early with them, and I was patient, and I listened. And then why are they upset or screaming or not being thought, right? We have a vision that if we do 2 + 2 is 4. If I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, it's going to equal this, and this is what I want.
And that's not how it works, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that the goal of the course is to show that. It's to teach people how to see things from different points of view, and understand things better, understand themselves better, understand expectations, what are bad expectations to have. And I think it's going to help a lot of people, and that's my goal. But I start like that, I'll tell you. When I started my fashion brand and the blog and so on, my goal was, if I can help one woman. My goal was one woman, and I kept saying, just one woman. If I help one woman, it's fine. Because that's another thing. We say, oh, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to help millions of people. And then we don't, and we're disappointed. Right. But when I helped one woman, the first woman to text me how she felt about my clothing, it was everything, right? So then I said, okay, I just need one more woman.
Wow. Well, you've definitely helped this woman over here, and it should continue. There should be many, many. When you're talking about these high expectations that we have that are not even realistic. You know, it's like we have such a high bar, and we all do this to ourselves. And there's like this one vision that came to my mind. It was, I run women's retreats, and at one of my retreats, there was this one woman. She's an Ethiopian, beautiful woman, mother of 2 and stepmother of 2. And I just remember her, like, she was struggling with worthiness. Like, is she worthy? And we brought her into the middle of the circle, and we had her say, I am worthy. And she, in the beginning, she couldn't even say the words. Like, and then by the end, she was screaming, I am worthy. Like, she was like owning it, and we were all like cheering for her, and she was like yelling it. And I just feel like there's like a shift that has to happen in our minds, where we could really like accept ourselves, not at this unrealistic, ridiculous high bar that we all hold ourselves to, but to take ourselves with our scars, with our challenges, with our inadequacies. We all have imperfections, and to embrace it, to be okay with it, and to see ourselves as worthy human beings. We're all worthy. That's the shift, and that's the work.
So it's a lot of work. And let me ask you and your followers a question. We all, those who are parents, not everybody has children, so this is going to be an example for those who have children. I think that they will understand. We have kids. Some kids are smarter. Some kids are neater. Some kids are kinder, right? They're different. Each child has different personality traits that we appreciate more, right? You love them the same, but you love them different, right? This one is, more empathetic. This one is whatever. But you love your children the same, meaning you love them so much. There's no words to describe how you love,
right? It's unconditional.
You love them so much. And it doesn't matter to you at the end of the day that one is, misbehaves, or one is less successful in school, or if one can't find a job. At the end of the day, you are absolutely crazy about your children. You want them all to be happy and do well, and you just want them near you, right? So explain to me something. Why? How can we say that Hashem has a child that is not worthy? That it's not worthy of his love? Is any child that we have not worthy of our love? How can we, it's like, it comes to a level of a chutzpah for us to say, God, you have an imperfect child, and it's me. Let me tell you something. You created something so bad, and it's me. And you created it. And I'm not worthy of your love, and I'm not worthy of your blessings.
Wow, so true.
How can I say that?
My friend Neely Cousins, she says, God doesn't make garbage. And she says, if God had a refrigerator, your picture would be up on it. And it's true. Like, we're his, like, he loves us. He loves every human being. With this whole, all the noise in the world and Black Lives Matter and everything. Every person is created in the image of God. Everyone has infinite potential. I mean, God created you in the Elokai Neshama, the beautiful morning blessing that we say, that God, he takes our soul from us at night, and then he lovingly blows it back into us. He cares for us. He nurtures us, like, every day. Again, another chance. I believe in you. Go there. Go into the world. Do your thing. It's important. We need to remind ourselves of this, like, maybe 100 times a day. But of course, God believes in us. We should believe in ourselves. Wow, so powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. So Miri, tell us a little bit. We're going to have to end in a few minutes, even though I think we should have a part 2, because I know that there's a lot more. And we had a conversation, you and I, about forgiveness. And sometimes it's hard to really forgive. But you were telling me that the person that's holding the grudge is really, carrying this rope through its life. They're kind of like dragging all this luggage with them. And the only person that really is at a loss or suffering is the person that's holding on to the luggage, right?
Yes, but you know that I don't like the word forgiveness. I don't think that the word forgiveness is used correctly. because yes, I believe in everything that you just said, and I believe that there is a way to let go, but I don't equate that with what the word forgiveness is used, which is absolution of the other side, right? Because we are used to the concept of in Yom Kippur, right? We ask for forgiveness, and we want Hashem to absolve us, right? We want Hashem to say, I'm going to open a clean slate, and you did nothing. You are in the same perfect state that you were when you were born. You can start from scratch from now. That's a forgiveness. In that sense, it's absolution. And I think that a lot of people have a very hard time forgiving in the day-to-day life, in their relationships to people that hurt them, because one, the other side didn't ask for forgiveness. Second of all, sometimes what happened to them is not forgivable, right? There are things that don't get absolution. Can you say that we absolve the Nazis from killing the Jews? I don't think that we have the right to say that we absolve them. But do we cut that rope that's really choking us? So that's a different word. I haven't found the name of that word yet. I'm still in search of it.
What it really is that every person is responsible for their own side of the street, right? We're not responsible for what people do, right? They have to take that up with God. In fact, one of my favorite books is The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger. Have you read that?
Yeah.
And she says, like, I got through that experience with Dr. Mengele. She had to dance for Dr. Mengele in Auschwitz. Yamach Shemo, his name should be erased. And she said she felt bad for him, not for herself. And I think what this is really saying is that every person is responsible for their own healing, for their side of the street, for how they're going to move forward after the hardship that they've been through. It's not about forgiving someone. It's about doing what you need to do to move forward in your life and not carry the pain and the hurt, to choose joy, to choose to move forward in your life. And I think that's, Racheli Frankel is another tremendous role model of mine. Do you know who she is? No? Oh, wow. So Google her. Racheli Frankel is one of the mothers that lost.
For sure. I thought
teenage boys that were kidnapped and tortured and killed in Israel.
I met her, and I made for her a custom pendant. I made it for the three mothers, a custom pendant.
Oh, that's so beautiful. It's so, but something, and everything she says, I could just hang on to every word, but she says she was in pain, but she didn't become her pain. Exactly. She chose to move forward. She chose to heal whatever she could and keep going for the rest of her kids.
Right.
Right? She wasn't going to crumble up and just, that's it. She was ready to move forward. So, there's so much to learn here, and I'm excited to possibly take your course. It's called Healing with Gold. Is that right?
Heal with Gold.
Heal with Gold. Okay, well, I'm so excited for you and for the gift and the light that you are going to be bringing to the world. And it's just such an honor, Miri, really such an honor. And tell us a little bit how we could find you, how we could purchase your products.
Sure. So I'm going to be giving you a code, so you'll be able to put on the bottom of your video for your followers, anybody who wants to buy something from Mikah or even to become part of our founders launch. I'll give you all the information. Right now, the site of the clothing is mikahfashion.com, which is MIKAH fashion.com, and the other one is Heal with Gold, which is a site in progress. I'm always open to criticism. Anybody who wants to check it out and correct my English and punctuation is welcome.
I'm so happy. Now I have 2 Brazilian friends.
That's right. That's right.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And I really hope that all of your followers will understand that they shouldn't feel ashamed for the hardships that they went through, that every single human being goes through. That is why we're here in this world. We're here to grow. Growth happens in the pain. Growth happens when muscles tear, when hearts tear and break. And the point is to put all the pieces together. And I wish them a lot of healing for anything that they have gone through their lives.
Amen. That's such a beautiful blessing that we could all take to heart. I'll just read what it says on the little tag over here that I kept. It's so simple and so beautiful. We hope that this piece, this kintsugi collection, will remind you that you are valuable and beautiful, not despite your circumstances, but because of them. Own your struggles, and in doing so, own your strength. Accept yourself along with your imperfections and limitations, and wear your scars with pride. Wow. Each one of us is a unique work in progress. We are kintsugi. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Amazing. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miri.
Bye.